when you're sitting at the airport, you're sitting at the cafe, and you cross your leg, your pants right up just a little bit, and the pretty girl walks by and she sees that inlay with your initials right there. It's just a subtle way of showing off your boot. So that inlay, the pretty girl walks by, she sees the inlay, she knows your boots are special. If you're wearing special boots, then you're probably special, you know. So. Killeen was a military town, and I don't say any of this disrespectfully toward the military, but as a young man growing up and trying to get attention of young ladies, it was very competitive because there were a lot of guys over there. Fort Hood was over there, you know. So something that would make you, and I use this to the day, that my boots are as individual as a person who orders them. You needed individuality at that time. So this DL that I have on I always have it inlaid right here on this inside pocket of the boot. And people will say, why right there? Why on the insides? Why not on the outsides? And it was almost, it's like the way it was explained to me. When you're sitting at the airport, you're sitting at the cafe, and you cross your leg, your pants right up just a little bit, and the pretty girl walks by and she sees that inlay with your initials right there. It's just a subtle way of showing off your boot. So that inlay, the pretty girl walks by, she sees the inlay, she knows your boots are special. If you're wearing special boots, then you're probably special, you know. So anyway, a lot of little subtle deals that store-bought or factory-made boots used to not do, but they're starting to do now. This white side beading, it's, why in the hell would you put a white side bead on a black and burgundy boot? It's very eye-catching. You know, your jeans cover it, and that white's just really, really eye-catching. And so people look down, and well, really the turquoise on that brown is eye-catching, and people see that. And this used to be kind of the mark of a custom boot, but not so much anymore, because I think factory boots are starting to do it now. So.
There's also structural reasons why you put stitching in the tops of boots, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. On boot tops, you have the outer leather and you have the liner. So stitching keeps the two together, and it also adds a little bit of stiffness to the boot top. This is an example right here. So this boot doesn't have stitching, and you can see what it does. My boots will retain their shape. They'll never flatten out. They'll never get that crease in them. They'll never flop over. You know, we put it was referred to as a heel slide. This is smooth piece of leather. Your heel slides down, and there's also embedded in between the liner and the outer is we call the stay, just a front stay, and it's a piece of leather that's in here. It keeps everything stiff, and it keeps the top from collapsing like that. Boots are built inside out, and when I side seam the boots, the actual seam, and if you look down in there, you can see it, and you can see the stitches. But yeah, this is just a trim piece to hide any threads. If you took a piece of leather and you sewed it face to face and you pulled it to show the seam, you would see the threads.
The thread seam, yeah.
So yeah, so beading just mask that, if you would. And so, these are boots that Duck, the man who taught me to make boots, the boots that Duck had started to make, and he let a pair of pliers slip and they gouged that boot really bad. So he was unhappy with that and everything, so he started and he remade the boots just out of that. So every step of the process is a killer. I mean, you can make a mistake every step of the way that undoes everything that you did prior. So you can get literally 35, 40 hours into a pair of 42-hour boots, and you can get to the point where you have to start all over. Or start one boot over. So one of the challenging things about making boots is you're making a mirror image. You're making two things. One of them is a mirror image of each other. They have to match each other. They have to be a perfect mirror image, or as close to it as you can get. I inherited his shop. He passed away a little over 5 years ago from lung cancer. And coincidentally, the lung cancer was a result of leather dust, the chemicals that they tan leather with, and the chemicals that we use, different glue fumes. And so he died complications of lung cancer from that. So the last location of his shop was in Temple, and I own 4 acres right here. My house is next door. I was driving back and forth every day to Temple, so I built this building a little over 3 years ago and relocated everything down here. This is actually almost the exact same as the shop that I learned how to make boots in.
Was it deliberate?
I'm sorry?
Was it deliberate?
Yes, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. The only difference was there wasn't a bathroom in the old shop, and this partition wall separating this room from the workspace wasn't present. But almost all the equipment set up the exact same. The last, everything, the window placement, the door placement. I had this, I won't even say it's superstition because I'm not superstitious, but I had this belief that as I was building this shop, when I made the move from the old shop to this shop, that if this isn't very efficient, this isn't a very efficient design for a boot shop. The most efficient design would be a long, narrow shop where you start at one end and you work like a production line up to the front or the back, or you had a square with a center island and you worked around. But anyway, this you walk back and forth all day long. But anyway, I had this, it was almost a superstition that if I changed it up a bunch, I would lose a workflow. I wouldn't be able to make boots. I'd have to like reteach myself, I think. And so everything, all the way down to the hand tools are in the same place from how I learned how to make boots. So when I started my first pair of boots in this new shop, everything was where it had always been for the past 10, 15 years.
Now I know there's at least one more story. Your logo is not a duck.
So in the old shop, in Doug's old shop, there's always a pair of Roadrunners that would come up to the side door. I always see these Roadrunners. I'm like, holy crap, I got Roadrunners. Maybe Roadrunners is like some weird deal with boot making. So this girl that I know on the East Coast, her brother was in the Air Force. He was in Abilene, and she wanted me to make a wallet for him. And so she wanted me to quote her price. And so this girl does this art called lino block print. So I said, you know what? I said, Christina, I said, I'm not going to charge you for all. I said, make me a piece of art. I don't care what it is. It's something I'm hanging in the boot shop. And she said, okay. She said, what do you want me to do? I said, I don't care. Do anything. Just surprise me. So she did this lino block deal, which was actually the Roadrunner. She did that. And I'm like, holy crap, I saw that. I'm like, I need that to be my logo. So I started thinking about stupid, a duck. You know, people think a duck being a logo, but that's the irony of it, you know, they're like, okay, there's gotta be something there. So a friend of mine, I got a sign out front, a friend of mine did this laser cut, but he misspelled it, man. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that he misspelled it. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know.
The sign above the door?
Yeah, he misspelled it. And I didn't see that was misspelled. He made the sign, I was just really tickled about it. And I went and hung it up and I took a picture and I posted it on social media, and someone was like, you know, it's misspelled, right? And I'm like, no, it's not. And so I went and I looked at it and I walked outside. I'm like, oh gosh, man, he did misspell it. And I don't have the heart to tell him. He's a good friend of mine. I don't want to hurt his feelings, so I just left it up there. So that's another little bit of irony deal. This quote said that the more absurd art is, the truer to the heart that it is. And I agree with that. And it's just like, you know, everyone's interpretation of art is different. And I think just some crazy ass stuff that you see, it's like, man, you really try to think what was the artist thinking when he did that? And that's the cool part of it. So, well, y'all be safe. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on soon. I will. And
thank you very much.
Meeting you.
I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much.
stop. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my Facebook, follow me on Instagram, throw me a pin on Pinterest if you can, and follow me.